Hey Ram fans, my name is Brendan Fairbairn,
And I'm James Hall.
and today we're doing a little thing different called Fact or Fiction. I know James does this usually on the Thursday night sports show, but I thought it'd be a fun idea if we both did it, and we both had 30 seconds, a minute for each question, and we both, for 30 seconds, both answered it. James, do you want to start us off? Fact or fiction? Joe Burrow is the best QB in this draft class. Fact or fiction?
For me, that's a fact. Joe Burrow broke the NCAA record for touchdowns with 60. The only other quarterback that's even on that list is ranked 27th with 43, and that's Tua Tagovailoa. So even though he's in the draft and he's on the list, he's down by at least 17 touchdowns compared to what Joe Burrow put up. And honestly, Joe Burrow's not the kind of guy that you think would lose. You know, he's got the confidence, he's got the mentality. He transferred to LSU because he knew what he wanted, and that's pretty much why Joe Burrow is the best quarterback.
James, see, I like Burrow, but I'm going Tua. He reminds me of Drew Brees. He has that quick feet, quick release. He can move in the pocket and extend plays with his legs. And then he's a dual threat. Last season, he got injured week 9 against Mississippi State. He had almost 3,000 yards and 33 touchdowns, which is good, you know, for 9 weeks, 3 interceptions. But high risk, high reward. If whoever drafts him. And like I said, Burrow was mediocre last year. He was like two polar different seasons. Last year he was 16 touchdowns. This year 60, blew it out of the water. But we'll see how, who's going to be the better quarterback coming in next year.
Only time will really tell on that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I bet they'll both be good though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For the second question of fact or fiction, is Tom Brady really the GOAT?
I'm going fiction on this one. I don't truly believe he's not. I know he has 6 rings, obviously, but rings do not define the position. They define the team's accomplishments. I'm going with 5-time MVP Peyton Manning. He has the 2013 season, most passing yards, most passing touchdowns. He held that record for so long until, Breeze took it. I felt like he could have played longer, too, if he didn't have all those 4 neck surgeries and that. He could put up way more stats. And the way he prepares leads and he has no scandals, I just think he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, at least me, I've ever seen play the position. James, fact or fiction, what are you thinking?
So that for me is also fiction. Like what you brought up with Peyton Manning was huge, but to me, you can't have a GOAT. There is no greatest of all time. There's a greatest of your generation, of your era maybe, which Brady is. But to be the greatest of all time, he'd have to play with rules he hasn't played with. He'd have to play against players who have a different mentality than what he's used to. Mm-hmm. It's not about safety back in the day. It's about hurting people, getting them off the field so that way you don't have to worry about it. Is Tom Brady a phenomenal quarterback? Yes. Is he the best quarterback from what I've seen so far? Honestly, yeah, he's taken teams that weren't that good and made it to the Super Bowl. So for me, it's fiction just because you can't have the greatest of all time.
No, that was a good point, though. For eras like the pass interference, like back then, you were allowed to be physical. Now, if you breathe on a receiver, it's 15 yards.
And I mean, that's literally, there's some place where it literally looks like that's all they do is breathe.
I know.
On them. It's like, geez, let them. It's football. It's physical. Let them touch a little bit. Come on, let's have some fun.
I totally agree with that. We're going to change it up a little, go to basketball. For our third fact or fiction question, do the LA Lakers have the best chance to win the world championship? James, fact or fiction?
Fiction. The Bucks were on a tear. They had the better record. Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing way better than LeBron, if you ask me, despite the age difference. He's really hoping his team out. LeBron has all those big names around him, and they're still not doing as good as the Bucks are.
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo has some players around him, but they're not big names. So it's kind of a give and take on this one. To me, honestly, Antetokounmpo is doing much more to affect his team than anybody on the Lakers is doing to affect theirs, and that's why I think the Bucks are going to would actually have done better this season.
CJ, I'm going to have to go opposite on this one. I'm definitely going fact. The Lakers, 49-14, number 1 in the West. Obviously, the Bucks had a better record, but I feel like the East is way easier than the West. LeBron leads the league in assists. Anthony Davis leads the league second in the league, in blocks. And they're both top 10 scorers, and they have a good starting 5. They have Avery Bradley. They have Danny Green. They have McGee. They have Caruso. They have Howard. They have the bench in depth. And I just think that they're going to make a run for it. So and the whole Kobe thing, that's why I'm going with Lakers. I just feel like there's a chip on not even LeBron's back with the whole Lakers team.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, sticking with basketball, our final question, are the Nuggets overrated, fact or fiction?
Definitely going fiction on that one. I like the Nuggets. They're very good. They're third in the West right now. I think the game back behind the Clippers. They're a young team with a good coach, and like I said, they don't have all these big names besides Jokic. But they play so well together. That's why they're having so much success this year. Harris is a good defender. Jokic, obviously the rebounder, all-star. He's a great passer. And Murray, he is so scary when he gets going. He's good as Steph Curry once he starts getting hot. But what really confuses me about him is that they beat good teams and lose the bad teams. You know what I mean? That's what turns me off about them. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. I'm going with fiction as well. They're a young team, which means there's plenty of room for them to grow. Yes, they've had success the last couple years after missing the playoffs 3 years in a row before that, but that's the point of rebuilding. You're going to have the down years, and then you're all of a sudden going to just start being successful. That's the whole point of rebuilding. That's what they did. Like you said, they got Jokic, Murray. They got plenty of players who are going to go out there and play the game hard, but they do the same thing every other team does in Denver, and they play down to their competition. Yeah. And that's why they lose to the teams they should beat, yet somehow are able to come up and beat the teams that are supposed to be better than them.
Yeah.
They need to figure out how to turn it on when the teams they're supposed to beat in order to actually be successful.
Thank you so much, James, for helping me out with this fact or fiction. I knew it would be better if there was two of us, and thank you for letting me use your idea. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. It's always a blast to do fact or fiction, so any chance I get to do it, I'm on board.
Well, that's all we have for today, Rams fan. Thank you for tuning into James and I's edition of Fact or Fiction. I'm Brendon Fairbairn.
I'm James Hall, and remember to tune in to CTV 11 next semester when we come back.
Stay healthy and safe, Rams fan.